Every choice changes everything. You are listening to Crossroads Story. Forgive, fall, rise. Lily sat in her car, gripping the steering wheel as she stared at the entrance of her hometown. The familiar sights, dilapidated houses, the old diner, and a schoolyard, brought back a flood of memories, both happy and painful. It had been nearly a decade since she left, driven by a desire to find herself in a bigger city. Now, in her late 20s, she felt a swirl of anxiety and anticipation. As she finally drove through the town's main street, her heart raced. Would she face the same judgments from her family? The echoes of their harsh words haunted her. "You'll never be successful." Those statements cut deep, shaping her self-worth over the years. But now, Lily craved closure. With every mile, her determination grew stronger. This visit was about more than just confronting her family. It was about reclaiming her voice and proving that she had achieved much more than they ever acknowledged. Growing up, Lily lived under a constant cloud of expectations. Her parents, both accomplished in their own careers, had a vision for her that felt more like a weight than a guiding light. They celebrated her academic successes, but were quick to highlight her shortcomings. Each time she stumbled, they labeled her as the dreamer or the failure, making it hard for her to see her own worth. School was a battleground where she fought for approval. While other kids chased dreams with carefree hearts, Lily felt the pressure to meet her family's high standards. Creative projects that sparked her passion were dismissed as unrealistic. The moments when she tried to express herself were often met with skepticism, leaving her feeling trapped in a box that didn't fit. As she navigated friendships, the need for acceptance loomed large. Every time she faced rejection, it echoed the criticism from home, feeding her insecurities. These early experiences shaped Lily's journey, leading her to seek freedom and validation far away from the confines of her childhood home. Lily's decision to return home was sparked by a recent job loss that shook her confidence to the core. After working tirelessly at a marketing firm, she had been let go in a round of layoffs, and the news felt like a cruel echo of her childhood failures. The rejection collided with her already fragile sense of self, leaving her feeling adrift in a city that once promised opportunity. In the silence of her small apartment, memories of her family's critical voices crept in, reminding her of their high expectations. It was then that she realized she couldn't keep running. Returning home seemed daunting, but it also offered a chance for healing. She hoped this journey would allow her to confront the past and redefine success on her own terms. With a newfound determination, Lily packed her belongings, vowing to face the fears that had haunted her for years. This trip would not only be about confronting her family, but also about reconnecting with the resilient woman she had become. As Lily drove along the winding road toward her hometown, memories flooded her mind like the passing trees outside her window. Each mile seemed to pull her back in time, bringing vivid images of family dinners where her dreams were brushed aside with a wave of disapproval. She recalled the moments she'd shared her passion for writing, only to be met with skeptical glances and comments like, "That's not a real job." Her heart sank as she remembered standing in the school auditorium, proudly presenting her creative projects, only to see her parents' faces twist in disappointment when they didn't win awards. The words, "You'll never succeed," echoed in her ears, becoming an unwelcome soundtrack during her drive. Yet amidst these painful recollections, a flicker of strength began to build within her. Lily realized that these experiences had shaped her resilience. As she approached the familiar entrance to her hometown, she knew this drive was not just about revisiting the past, but also about reclaiming her story and the courage to rise above it. As Lily pulled into her family's driveway, a rush of emotions flooded her senses. The familiar sight of the old house, with its peeling paint and overgrown garden, felt both comforting and suffocating. Memories of family gatherings filled her mind, but so did the echoes of criticism that had haunted her since childhood. She stepped out of the car, her heart racing as insecurities crept back in, whispering doubts that she thought she had left behind. Walking toward the front door, she hesitated, feeling like the same anxious girl who had once sought approval at every turn. Yet, As she paused to take a deep breath, she reminded herself of how far she had come. Over the years, she had learned to embrace her passions and stand firm in her identity. This visit was not just about revisiting old wounds. It was an opportunity to showcase her growth and confront the family that had once deemed her a failure. With newfound resolve, Lily knocked on the door, ready to face whatever awaited her inside. Lily took a deep breath and stepped inside, greeted by the muffled sounds of her family. The living room was just as she remembered it, but now it felt foreign. Her parents looked up from their conversation, surprise painted on their faces, quickly replaced by awkward smiles. Her mother, with her warm yet hesitant embrace, whispered a welcome that felt both loving and strained. Her siblings exchanged glances, their body language betraying curiosity mixed with apprehension. They had spent years hearing stories of Lily's struggles and accomplishments, yet the atmosphere was thick with unspoken judgments. As they settled into casual conversation, Lily sensed the tension beneath the surface. Her family's questions were laced with skepticism. "Still writing?" her father asked, his tone implying doubt rather than interest. Each word felt like a challenge, pushing her to prove herself once more. Despite the discomfort surrounding her, Lily reminded herself that this reunion was an opportunity to show them that she had not only survived, but thrived in ways they never imagined. Later that evening, Lily found herself sitting with her mother at the kitchen table, the aroma of freshly baked cookies blending with the tension in the air. Her mother stirred her tea nervously, glancing at Lily with an expression filled with complicated emotions. "I always believed you could do anything, but I worried you were too distracted," she finally said, choosing her words carefully. Lily felt a lump in her throat as she processed her mother's statement. It wasn't just about her creativity or writing. It was about years of feeling inadequate. "I needed to explore my passions, Mom. That's how I learned who I am," she replied softly, looking into her mother's eyes for understanding. Her mother sighed, a mix of regret and concern crossing her features. "I just wanted you to be successful," she admitted. They exchanged stories of missed chances and hopeful dreams, revealing the depth of the pressure that had shaped their lives together. In this moment of vulnerability, Lily realized they shared a common struggle, the desire to succeed amidst familial expectations, and it sparked a flicker of connection between them. The next day, as the sun streamed through the kitchen window, Lily braced herself for a meeting with her father. His presence loomed large, and the thought of facing him filled her with trepidation. When he entered the room, his expression was stern. "I just don't understand why you chose such an uncertain path," he said, disappointment etched in his features. Lily felt her heart race, but this time she refused to shrink back. "Dad, I've spent years figuring out who I am. It's not about just having a steady job. It's about finding my passion." She took a steadying breath, determined to share her journey. "I've faced challenges that have made me stronger. I've traveled, met incredible people, and pursued my writing." Her father's brow furrowed as he listened, and for the first time she saw a flicker of curiosity in his eyes. "It's not what I expected for you," he replied quietly. "Maybe you should show me what you've been working on." In that moment, Lily realized she was no longer seeking his approval. She was simply sharing her truth. Later that week, as the family gathered around the dinner table, the conversation turned to dreams and aspirations. Seizing the moment, Lily felt compelled to challenge the notion of failure versus success that had loomed over her for so long. "You know," she began, looking each family member in the eye, "success isn't just about a stable job or accolades. It's about growth and experiences." Her siblings listened intently as she recounted her journeys, trips abroad, writing workshops, and the friendships she cultivated along the way. "I faced setbacks, yes, but they taught me resilience. I've learned to embrace my passions rather than conform to others' expectations." The room fell silent as her words resonated. Lily's mother nodded thoughtfully, while her father appeared contemplative. "Maybe success is more complex than we thought," he admitted finally. In that moment, barriers began to crumble, and for the first time, Lily felt acknowledged, not just as a daughter, but as a person with her own definition of success. One evening, as dusk settled over the family home, Lily retreated to her childhood bedroom, seeking solace in familiar surroundings. Staring at the awards and trophies that lined the shelves, she felt a wave of old insecurities wash over her. Those accolades, once symbols of success, now felt heavy with memories of pressure and expectation. In that moment, tears blurred her vision as she confronted the familiar doubt that had haunted her for years. Was she truly enough? Yet, amidst this emotional turmoil, a voice inside her began to rise. "I define my worth," she whispered to herself, feeling a surge of empowerment. Not them. She recalled the vibrant experiences she had shared, the friends she made, the stories she wrote, and the challenges she overcame. With a deep breath, she realized that her journey was uniquely hers and separate from her family's views. This revelation lit a fire within her. It was time to embrace her identity fully and step into the life she had fought so hard to create. As the days passed, the mood in the family home began to shift. During a quiet afternoon, Lily found her parents sitting together in the living room, looking through old family albums filled with laughter and memories. With a sense of vulnerability, she joined them, feeling a budding connection as they reminisced about happier times. In that intimate space, her father turned to her with a softer gaze. "Lily," he said gently, "I've been thinking about what you shared about your journey. I realize now that perhaps I didn't see everything you've accomplished." It was a breakthrough moment as her mother nodded in agreement, adding, "You've always been brave to follow your passions." Tears welled in Lily's eyes as she felt their acceptance wash over her. They shared stories of their own struggles, realizing that success could take many forms. In those heartfelt exchanges, tensions eased as walls crumbled. Together, they forged a deeper understanding and appreciation for each other, finally embracing the woman Lily had become and the paths they all had traveled. As Lily packed her bags for the journey back, she felt a sense of lightness that had been absent for years. The conversations with her parents had transformed her feelings of doubt into a newfound confidence. Standing in her childhood room one last time, she took a moment to appreciate the memories, both the good and the painful. She glanced in the mirror and smiled at the woman she had become, an empowered individual who no longer allowed her family's opinions to dictate her self-worth. With each step toward the door, she felt stronger, ready to embrace her life on her own terms. The warmth of the sun greeted her as she stepped outside, symbolizing a fresh start. As she drove away from her hometown, Lily knew that while family ties were important, they would no longer define her journey. Taking a deep breath, she turned up the music, feeling freedom pulse through her veins as she looked forward to new adventures and the life she was determined to create for herself. Another story ends. Another crossroad crossed. Subscribe now for more tales of love, betrayal, and redemption.